Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video here today. Really we're going to be looking at both in the same tank, but we're going to be looking at, my opinion, the difference between having a good start and a bad start to a game. So, first one, spoiler, it's going to be a bad start to the game. But the thing is, with both these games, they're both going to be good results. I'm just going to critique basically my beginning play on this, mainly on this one, and a little bit on the other one, but this is, the first game is going to be more mistake heavy, at least in my opinion for me, and this second game's more of a ideal light tank game that doesn't have many flaws that are beyond nitpicky things that I would look at, that I could look at to improve, but so both games are in the LT432. You know, the second vid I've done on this tank, I'm enjoying it a little bit more now. I'm still Mr. LTDB, much for this, but I still like this tank. It's perfectly adequate for a tier 8 light. It's nothing special, it's nothing awful, but it's kind of adequate. But we're going to do the pretty normal, how I like to play this map, and push up to here. Generally don't like to knock down trees. I generally like to push this bush right here initially, and then push up to the yellow bush that's right in front of me if I think it's clear. So my first kind of a mistake here is going to be, I see I have teammates on the other flank that are moving up, and I also see the light tank that's just went in front of me, the Lycan. I'm assuming at this point that we have some tanks going up to the hill on my right. I see the Lycan going up there, and I see a few tanks being spotted, so I just assume at this point my rear and flank are safe. They're fine. But I don't check it. I don't pay attention to it. And that's just assuming that teammates have it, and that's not something you really ever want to do, because that's literally going to come to bite me in the ass here very shortly. Because I've moved up even more because I don't see anything down this flank, so I'm like, okay, I get free reign on this Carnarvon, I get free shots here, and I'm in a really good position. But then I pick up right here, or I should have, I saw right now looking back on this, two heavies just push down. But there they are, and boom, and boom. That other shot actually came from the Conqueror up on the hill, who we'll see later, and repay him for that. And now we're one shot. We're basically just running away, trying to get away, seeing if we can get out of this really bad situation we've got ourselves in. Luckily, IS-3 misses his shot. We're between about 2 or 3 heavy tanks right here at this point, and we're just kind of running for my life, trying to stay alive, trying to stay in this game, keep my gun in this game, just trying to survive at this point. From a horrible misplay at the beginning of this, just being over-aggressive, not reading or not paying attention, just poor play on my part, and getting punished for it by nearly getting killed. Somehow we're actually going to be able to get away from this. I'm still not confident on this flank because we only have about 5 other tanks, but the position's not that great. They have the advantage on the hill that it fell off of, and they have the advantage up here too with the Conqueror versus a Lurver, and probably going to be me because it's the Scorpion, but he's not really, he's focusing on the other flank, it kind of seems. So, but the mistake the enemy does is they left me alive. And why I made a big mistake in the beginning of the game, they made a mistake also by letting me live and keep my gun in the game. So we're going to try to see what we can do with this second life. We almost throw our second life away here with the Conch. I'm like, oh, he's definitely going to kill me. He's got the gun depression to shoot me, but I don't think he quite does. So we're going to put a shot into his ammo rack right there. And that's key. I see right with the shot one, and we're going to put a second one, and whew, I don't know where his head went. But yeah, we're going to just make them pay for that. Yeah, that was kind of another secondary mistake. Like, I just maybe got lucky. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see the Conch's point of view if we had a more accurate replay system. where his gun was. It had to be close. I was basically staring on the barrel there. I literally thought, okay, I'm dead now. But now here I want to support my teammate who's pushing. So I see him going on this T-28 Prot. It's a close game. And I want to keep him in the game because he's doing damage, which is good. And he's actually able to take out the T-28 Prot, but he's only at 47 health now. So I'm going to have to be the lead again, even though I'm still a one-shot for nearly everything. So now I'm going to take up another position, and then we see a surprise Type 4, who, if there weren't other tanks around, I'd actually, since he was looking the other way, I would have actually gone after him and got underneath of him. But I know there's other tanks around. I don't know where some are. Some could be up on the middle part sniping. So we're actually going to go all the way around here. I was actually thinking the Carnarvon that appeared to be like AFK on the hill in the beginning part of the game may still be here, so that's why I'm looking to my left. It's out, and then I see the Carnarvon. I'm like, okay, he came back and he started playing. So I'm gonna go back to this original position I was at, and get shot at this Type 4 who's climbing the hill. So good luck with that, bud. But we're gonna put shots into him as he goes up. I've got the AP rounds loaded, which are the premium rounds on this tank. Just to deal with that Type 4. Even when I've got his side, I want the most penetration possible. And just to secure the damage. I don't know why he's not going side on. I see that he's looking this way, so what I'm gonna do is take a shot and then move immediately afterwards. And you see he blind fires me. A little delayed there, but we're starting to get back into this. Unfortunately, I really wanted to get on top of this so that I can spot it. But the 257 spots me, so I'm going to stop. I know the Type 4 is already looking this way, and I'm going to let the Lover up on the hill come around and hopefully get some shots in this guy and turn his turret, basically at this point. The 257's on like a beeline, the base, I don't know why. I mean, he should be getting out of that position. We're going to try to yoink this, but unfortunately no, and the Lover gets the last 600 HP of that guy, but it's still a good result, gets him off the map, and whatever, pull this game back, and you see we're able to keep our gun in the game and just really pull this one back. He's still, granted, this game's not totally over yet. I'm a one-shot, Lover's definitely a one-shot, and 257 is a pain in the ass to try to pen, especially in a light tank, especially with a light tank that isn't behaving at the moment, because he's giving the only part of his tank I can really pen consistently, his rear, and it's still not. But then as soon as we get the side, there's a thin strip where you could actually pen at, but at that range, this kind of pen, it's not going to work. Said, I was kind of worried. I got to that 5120, I'm like, oh, he's a one-shot too. And then I got to the E75, and I was like, okay, he's on full health, I'm not too worried. If I can get down here and get side shots or rear shots into this guy as he pushes E75, I'm fairly confident we've got this game in the bag. But yeah, you just got to make those decisions right there and then. Okay, he's going to have his attention directed towards E75 at this point, not me. So we're going to come in here and farm some damage off this guy, help the E75 take him down, make sure this game is in the bag. And then, surprise, you know, the 257 wants to shoot the light tank. Probably, I mean, shocker. I mean, I'm farming him, but we were able to win that game. The Lover actually from the hill sniped him. I just realized that. Holy hell. I thought the E75 killed him. No, alright. So that Lover was pretty pivotal too in that game. But, the Lover, I don't know how somebody, whatever. But again, he had a good game, and we also had a good game, and that was just from keeping us in the game, recovering from a god-awful start, just a bad play, and just kind of showing that even if you mess up in the beginning, don't just quit the game always, don't always, you know, I know I've done it before, but don't just automatically give up and say, hey, this game's toast. Let's just move on to the next one. Sometimes you can pull it out. It helps when you're still on 300 health and you don't have any module damage, you're not ammo racked or something like that. But I did my best to try to get out of that situation, and I got out and won the game basically, or helped win the game with the teammates I had left. So the second game is more of an ideal start, and just an ideal light tank game in general. Yeah. Compared to that other start, this one's going to be much more controlled. I know what's going on. I know what's happening. I'm not losing my mind somewhere else, paying attention, you know. So we're on South Coast. I wish the variants would just stay the same, but it's a tier 8 game, so best matchmaking we could ask for. One thing to note, there's 5 light tanks on their team, so it's kind of interesting. But I'm going to go to my spot I have to go to now. I don't recommend going to the left for this. Like I said, I'm going to get a little nitpicky on this game of any kind of little mistakes, but there's not many. I would go to the right. That was more, especially in high tier games, I go right. I went left because I have my LTDB grew in this, which has like 19 perks, and I wanted to see if I could spot anything, and I was pretty sure nothing was going to spot me unless they were yelling. It's not a good play, but not always a good play. It didn't really achieve anything, it just put me in danger. But I'm going to go to this bush on the right side here. I've kind of been playing with this position lately. It's not something I've always done, but since this map's been changed, with the middle and there's no bushes really I can use there anymore, especially from this spawn, it's my kind of go-to spot. I tried not to knock that tree down. Unfortunately, it's there. You're going to probably knock it down eventually. It's kind of an unfortunate fact. But it lets you spot them coming up the hill. And generally in a light tank, I think I can usually get up here, use this bush. And if they're all pushing, their team is pushing this hill really hard and I need to fall back, I can do it. I have time to do it. This game they're not. So instead we get to spot them all sitting in the back, kind of, which is nice. And we just get some good shots on these guys, really, and keep them lit up for our team to shoot. Let's get some decent assisted damage. Again, it's pretty textbook light tank stuff right here, especially with the armor on this thing. We're able to take a shot, yeah, we get spotted, but then we pull back up the ridge line, so our frontal armor is actually angled backwards and is more effective, basically. So we're actually losing 0-3 at this point. I just noticed that. But I'm not really worried because I feel like I actually hold a good position on the enemy team. We're actually on 0-4 now. But I feel like the positioning here is better. I'm always an advocate for taking this side of the map just because you get the high ground. And as Anakin knows, the high ground is superior. But yeah, I always recommend trying to get this secure, especially if you're in something like a medium or heavy tank. The other flank, I personally am not really a huge fan of it. I rarely go to it. The only reason I go to that side is the team lemming trains to that spawn. I just prefer this. Again, you get, whoever wins this usually gets access to the enemy base and gets Overwatch into the enemy base, basically. So I find it the better position to try to take and fight for. It's more worth my while to get than the low ground on the beach. Just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. And now we kind of, like I said, their team, the thing that really pushed the hill was the Pantera. They had a light tank in the beginning, the snake fight, but that was a really weak attempt there. So we're going to push down at this point and try to take it to them a little bit, try to spot some of their couple TDs they have, anything else they have in the back, and just try to spot up some more tanks for us and just kind of get that second tier push into their base. So we had that initial fight for the hill, and now we're on the secondary push. And here's where I love the armor on this thing. This 1357 is firing, I think, APCR. Yeah, can't really blame him. The thing has crap pen on the AP. And even with that, we're angled backwards. We're slightly angled sideways also to improve the armor on this. And we're going to bounce all of his shots all day. And just using some good terrain awareness, some good awareness of the targets that are available, how they're positioned. I saw the 1357 was going straight at that point, so RBRT on him. and I saw the stove was still kind of looking in my direction, so I didn't go all the way over the hill. I didn't fully commit. Here I could have rammed him actually, but I didn't want to lose health. But then I saw, oh, now we're winning 10-5, and it's just how quickly this game turned. It was 0-4, and now it's, yeah, we're gonna win. So by a landslide, and I think it's all just down to really just positioning and just taking the key positions on the map and getting some hilarious bounces out of the Russian troll armor and a good old fire for Stalin as well. Yeah, just a really good example of just making the right plays, making the right calls, and just moving the map methodically. And now we get to farm a nice little T-28 at the back of the map as a constellation prize, basically. So overall, like I said, two very different games, two still very good games, but one just had a bad moment in it, basically. Versus this one where I could nitpick some stuff, like the positioning in the initial, like, run up to the hill, or knocking over trees, but it's really just, that's trivial stuff. Which, yeah, granted, it is helpful not to do that stuff, and it will improve your game, and will get you shot less, especially knocking trees over and stuff like that. But this is more just a better flowing game. It just felt more natural. It didn't were any like glaring mistakes like, oh wow, I just got shot two, three times. That's when you know you've really messed up. When you get shot multiple times by multiple tanks, you know you're in the deep caca, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, just I like this. It's a good comparison. I'm glad I had both of these games. Just kind of provide a good sample of what happens on either end and how both can be transitioned into really good results. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. See ya.